What is good, guys? M.V.K here, back again. What up, my comic fans out there, as always? Well, what is your outfit here to talk about? Well, your outfit here to talk about what I read today. I believe I read it on Polygon.com, involving everyone's favorite resident symbiote, Venom. It turns out, after Venom Wars, there's going to be an all-new Venom. New host, meaning it's not going to be Eddie or his son Dylan. Now, granted, guys, I am not reading Venom Wars. I'll probably read it when it comes out in trade. But this is kind of interesting because it's a mystery. Now, Al Ewing is going to be still doing the writing. Al Ewing is doing the writing, and Carlos Gomez is doing the artwork. It comes out in December, and what they're pitching is it's going to be a mystery on who the new host is. And so far throughout this book, the four suspects are going to be as followed: Joseph Robbie Robertson, Madam Masque, Rick Jones, and yes, everyone's favorite super mayor, Luke Cage. And I'm here to talk about that in a sense. So first and foremost, having Dylan and Brock not being the host, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I've seen people already, saying, oh, this is just them copying, DC, all new, all in. I'm like, and I'm respectfully to everybody who thinks like that, stop. Don't, because they've done this before with all new before, and some of the titles didn't work out, but some did. But having said that, I love a good whodunit and mystery, so I love this. And from reading the article, it feels like Mr. Ewing is taking a little bit of Knives Out, all those movies with the mystery of who done it, who's this, and that's cool. I like that. So I'm gonna go down the list of the possible suspects and understanding a little bit of it. Now you're probably seeing an image of it to my right, or what is it? Probably my left. Whatever. But yes. So let's start ladies first. Madam Masque. Madam Masque has been a villain through and through. She has been a part of all the evil organizations in Marvel, even running alone by herself, and I just can't see her being this new host. Now, you could say, oh, she probably is disguising herself, but from my reading of the article on Polygon, it still seems like Venom is still going to be somewhat of a hero in this, not an anti-hero or a villain. And Madam Masque ain't no hero, and she ain't no anti-hero. She's a villain through and through, and I can't see her. And you could say, well, she probably buffs herself up to make she could do that with the symbiote, but I'm not buying it. So she's out of the case. Let's move on to another. Let's move on to Rick Jones. Rick Jones, one of the Hulk's best friends, has had an illustrious run in Marvel since his debut in Young Allies, I believe. He's been a part of, he's been Hulk, excuse me. But he's been in so many different comics, and he's also had stints as heroic figures. He was Captain Marvel at one point. He was a sidekick with Cap. He also wielded the Nega bands at one point, the same bands that Quasar used one time. And he was A-Bomb. He was A-Bomb. So he's had his heroic deeds in a lot of things. So him being Venom wouldn't be such a stretch to believe, because he's just had that career. You know what I'm saying? So Rick being there I would not be against if Rick was the new host of Venom. So yeah, there you go. Let's go on to number 2. Let's go on to number 3, excuse me. Joseph Robbie Robertson. One of my favorite supporting characters in Spider-Man. I love Robbie. I've always loved Robbie. Robbie has always been that character that you can turn to for guidance. Also kind of like a father figure for Peter in a sense, because Robbie is an elder statesman, as I like to call him, and he knows what he's doing. He's been the head and chief editor of the Daily Bugle at one point. When Jonah left, he took over, and now I believe he's back as number 2, while Ben Urich, I think, now runs the Daily Bugle now. But yeah, Joseph, Robbie's been there. You know, he's one of the few people that respected Peter as Peter Parker and as Spider-Man, always defending Spider-Man. And to think if Joseph, I'm calling him by his full name, Robbie being Venom, I kind of don't necessarily think so. It's kind of low on my list a little bit. Even though, yes, during Gang War, Randy, his son, nearly died, and that could maybe have hardened him and made him like, okay, I got this alien. I'm bonded with this alien goo or sentient being now, and I can help. You know, but I still don't see, you know, Robbie being that. That's just me. I mean, I don't think there's been older people. No, wait, there was a mob boss when, I believe, when Eddie got cancer, he auctioned off the symbiote to anybody who can buy it, and I think it was gonna go to this mob boss, but it went into his son took it, and then the son got beat up by Spider-Man. The symbiote was like, "Fuck you, I'm out of here." And when he was jumping, the symbiote just came off him. He died in midair. So yeah, but nobody older like Robbie's age. You know, I've always looked at Robbie maybe his late 60s, maybe 70s, early 70s. I've never looked at him too old, but I don't think so. I don't think it's Robbie. And last but not least, Luke Cage. One of my favorite Marvel heroes. One of my top 10 favorite Marvel heroes of all time. I love Luke. Now, Luke right now is the mayor of New York in the Marvel comics. And I think it's a cool step. I mean, what an evolution for Luke. You know, from Avenger to husband to dad to becoming mayor. Not bad, right? For quote-unquote ex-con. But I'm proud of him for that. I feel it could be Luke. It would be interesting. And the reason why I say Luke, why? Because if you look at the Venom embryo, the spider embryo in his eyes, what color is it? Yellow. It's not white as it usually is. What hero we know wears yellow a lot? Could you imagine the symbiote, the Venom symbiote, bonding with Luke? With Luke already has super strength and he's nearly invulnerable. He'd be a force to reckon with. And besides that, also, as Luke, he can't really be. He wants to get back into the game of protecting and helping people, but he can't because he's the mayor. And that's what his miniseries was all about. In Gang Wars, he really was. He had to kind of go undercover. Like he had to put a mask. He literally had to put a costume on just to kind of do what he did in that. But there is some issues where there's an issue with it being Luke, and this is where I have to throw this out here. And I was reminded by a friend of mine. I couldn't remember. I was like, oh yeah. So if you do remember, guys, the symbiote can't bond with Luke because of his skin. His skin is his unbreakable skin. Now this happened in Bendis's run of the New Avengers during the symbiote war. I forget the name of it, but in that, pretty much there was like a symbiote bomb, and everybody got the New York, and so people got hit with different symbiotes, and Luke was one of them that it didn't bond to because of his skin, because of his powers. So, but they were like low-level symbiotes. It wasn't like high-grade, like the Venom symbiote are we talking about, which is kind of on like a god level, tier level now. So I kind of feel that it could be Luke, even despite some of the things that Brian Michael Bendis did. It could be, but as well as this could be just Mr. Ewan just throwing us off. Like, yeah, these are the suspects, but there's probably a fifth or sixth suspect out there. Whoever it is, I'm looking forward to this. This comes out in December, and I will be picking this up. I'm going to check this out. This may be another added book to my singles pull list. You know, there are certain Marvel books that I also just get in trade, but this is definitely one of them that I may add because I really want to read this, and I want to read along with this mystery, because what they say is it's going to be Dylan who's going to be kind of trying to figure out why. But the other question I have is why. There's probably some people that's like, why would the Venom symbiote leave the Brocks? You know, why them? You know, maybe he's just tired. Maybe the Venom symbiote is like, look, y'all work that shit out. Y'all work whatever y'all need to work out. I'm gonna go with another host for now. You know, that could be the way it's looking at. It's probably tired of the nonsense between the two, father and son, and I'm not gonna play favorites. You know, even though, yeah, he's been with Eddie longer, you know, and sure, he probably will want to. I'm reading the where he's with Spider-Man, but we all know Peter's not gonna keep it. So yeah, maybe he's just like, look, I'm tired of y'all. Like, y'all work this shit out. But whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. I like this. Al Ewing, I've always loved Al Ewing's writing. I think he does a great job. He's underrated, in my opinion. He's done every book I've read with him. I loved the Ultimates, his Indestructible Hulk. Oh my God, that was great. You know, I know he's going to be writing Absolute Green Lantern for DC. So yeah, much love and respect to Al Ewing. I met him before. He's a hell of a guy. He's nice. He's a great guy. So yes, whatever this is, I'm all for it. I'm going to keep an open mind, as always. You can't just close it off. Yes, you can always love the core stuff, but you also got to keep an open mind about these things. Because if you don't, it's just not going to work out. Anyway, guys, you guys take care. You guys tell me what you think about this news. Outside of that, deuces.